Let's talk about gold and silver. In gold, we're starting to get signals from the charts that signal the next direction of the gold price short to mid term, and silver, and especially the silver minus. Very, very interesting. Let's talk about it. Welcome to Hot Trades of the Day, your show for swing trading ideas for the coming days, weeks, and month. So before we jump into the gold charts and talk about silver, quick housekeeping. It would be great if you could subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. We are trying our best to give you free value to help you become a more successful investor in the markets, and all we ask for is one simple subscription. And as a thank you to give more value to you, once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we're going to do a free show, Drinks with Dan, where we're going to talk about all the stocks, the questions that you have. Actually, because Arizona State, we beat our rival. Oh man, we beat them hard, and I loved every second of it. Last week, we scored 49 points, so you're going to get two shows, one with 25 minutes, one with 24 minutes, Drinks with Dan. And the first one is dropping next weekend. Let's get a glass of wine ready, let's have some nuts, and enjoy the show a little more casual, more off-market. I will answer your question. I already received the first question. We're going to talk about the GDXJ. We're going to talk about Harmony Gold. We're going to talk about Boss Energy. This is how we roll. Your questions will be answered in Drinks of the Dan. Drinks with Dan. I'm pretty cool, but I don't have my own liquor company yet. Drop your questions in the comments. We will read them, and then we will answer them in Drinks with Dan. All right, enough about drinks. Time to talk about gold. Here is the gold chart. And what are we seeing? We are seeing no strength in gold, and we're also seeing this pattern here. This is what's called inside bar. If you take a look at it, let me turn this yellow as well, because you can see it really the best way that way. And you see that in the past days, basically for the past 2 weeks, really all the action is happening inside this big red candle when we had this big drop after the proposed peace talks in the Middle East, you remember. Now, the interesting part is usually when you have inside bars, the price kind of jumps between the upper end and the lower end, or at least the middle. But look at this, we've been just hovering around the bottom end of this big red bar. That is no strength. This is not good. We are holding the 20, the purple line, as you can see here. But this pattern suggests that it increases the probability of a further leg down. And the target zone then would be the green circle here, what I have circled for a long time and told you guys about, the double support of this horizontal support zone right here and the lower end of the uptrend channel. That would be the target price. If you have no positions in gold, this would be the target price to open up a position. Don't go in 100%. There is still the possibility that we go down in a bigger move to this area right here. As you can see, there's even a horizontal area that's kind of developing for a double support as well. And that would be the big sell-off that would catch everybody off guard, and then we would have a very clear A, B, and C wave that takes us all the way down. And that, in my opinion, will be the best buying opportunity to get in for 2025 and the upcoming years. The reason being is this is the dollar against the euro. Look at this. Yes, the uptrend is still intact, but we can clearly see the weakness forming that I've been telling you about 4 weeks now in the dollar. And we know the negative correlation, a weak dollar means usually a stronger gold price. So we have broken the 20 on Thursday. We need to confirm it. If we confirm it, probabilities increase that we're going to test the uptrend. So that's another leg lower. That would actually mean that we will see short-term strength in the gold price, which is fine. As I told you, everything that stays within the bar doesn't change anything. However, I can see the dollar, like here, jumping back up a little bit, gaining its footing, because we're hitting this zone, as you can see right here, this blue zone, which is now a significant support zone, goes back all the way to 2023 and beyond, as you can see. But I don't want to confuse you guys too much with all my Picasso drawings. Most important part, I can see a short-term bounce in the dollar. That would be bearish for gold and would correlate perfectly with the drop down to the green zone that I told you right here, which is now about 2,558.60. That is where you would place your buying orders. But going back to the dollar, you can see overall clearly we have developed a short-term downtrend in the dollar. So we haven't made a new low yet. If we make a new low, then we will see the sell-off to this area here at the uptrend. But right now I can see a rebound to this area right here, to the 20, which then again could be the trigger for gold to sell, to have the next leg lower. I really would like for you to take a look at silver as well. Silver is starting to look interesting. It is already forming this W bottom. Now, it has already jumped above the 20 with authority, right? Look at this. On Wednesday, we tested it, long wick, bounced off it strongly. But the real party in silver, we all know this, is going to happen once we break above this area right here. If we break above, basically above 33. If we break above 33, that's when the party time starts. As long as we are in here, the uptrend is still intact. It didn't even reach the uptrend yet. Might still happen, but it hasn't yet. So that's positive overall for silver. And what's super interesting are the silver miners are rocking. Look at this. Perfect W bottom and breaking the 20. Test successful and the party is on. Now, the silver miners won't completely decouple from the silver price, but that's something to keep an eye on. This strength is surprising, especially compared to the gold miners. Look at this chart of GDX, the big senior gold miners. Look at this chart, especially in October, November, compared to the silver miners, October, November. The silver miners look way better. This is really interesting. And this ETF is one of the main vehicles how institutions play the miners. So that we get jumps in the price, big gaps. Let me swing back real quick for you. Look at these gaps that we see in the chart on the way up. Now 4 in a row. 1, 2, 3, actually 3 in a row. Sorry, can't count. 3 in a row. That shows us that clearly big money orders are coming in. And that's really interesting. This is something that we need to pay attention to. when we get towards the end of the year and the beginning of the next year, it's really important to look at flows. Where do we see major price movement, which indicate that institutions are moving in? In another video today that you should really watch, I talked about uranium and 2 uranium stocks that look really good, about to break out, and they are 2 of the bigger uranium stocks. Also something that tells us, wait a minute, the smaller ones are not really moving, but the bigger ones are moving. That's a sign that institutional money is flowing in because they can only invest in the bigger stocks. Now we see the silver miners moving. The gold miners, not so much. The silver miners are moving. That's interesting. That could be institutions, and very likely are institutions positioning themselves for next year, for a silver rally, and indeed for next year, for 2025. And we'll talk about it more next week. Drinks After Dan, shameless plug. Drinks with Dan. What is it with Drinks of Dan? Like, I really need to come up with my own alcohol brand. And clearly need a drink of that. Drinks with Dan next week. We're going to talk about this. I see silver. I'm even more bullish for silver in 2025 than I am for gold. That's it for today. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.